All right, welcome everyone on Facebook. I apologize that we had some technical problems, but that's typical for Facebook. There's always something going wrong with going live, but that's okay. Me and Michael are here, and we're just gonna have a chit chat talking about our lives as being dyslexics. And it's a very interesting lifestyle, let's say. But we are smart because we are dyslexic. We can figure out all kinds of problems. Is that right, Michael?
Sometimes, yeah,
Sometimes.
maybe not all of them, but I was going to say I think dyslexia affects people differently. So that, I mean, I suppose there's some people who are negative about being dyslexic, and there's some people who are struggling with their daily life, and there are others who flourish and build great businesses or solve great problems or whatever. So it can affect people differently. Like I feel I can't speak for every dyslexic person
Sure.
necessarily, but we've all got different experiences,
Yeah,
maybe depending on our.
there's a different types of dyslexia, and we have different aspects. Not just dyslexia. I personally think you cannot be solely dyslexic. I think you can have a little bit of autism, you can have a little bit of ADHD, or generally we're just different. We think differently. And I wanted to give you a compliment, Michael, because these past few weeks have been kind of hard for me on social media. I've been debating a lot if I wanted to continue promoting my coaching business, or being online, because it's just a wave of negativity on social media. And there are days where I look at Facebook or my social platforms, and I think, why do it? Why worth it? But then, I see you, and you come online, and you are consistently putting yourself out there, sharing your ideas, which are fantastic. If anybody's ever watched Michael and listened to his videos, he's like a visionary. I think you're a visionary, Michael, because your ideas are fantastic. And I really think a lot of these businesses that you tag should listen to you, or at least hire you to give them ideas, because they are really fantastic. And that's why I really admire you, Michael, with your ideas, because that's part of being dyslexic. We are full of ideas and new solutions, new ideas. And you reminded me that, despite the negativity, people putting you down, despite setbacks, um, we push through it. It's part of our nature to keep going, because one thing about, I guess I should say, to people who try to put down neurodiversic people, is we have a lifetime experience of being put down. We have a lifetime experience. So there's no way you can push us down. There's no way. We find a way. We work through our problems, we work through the letdowns, the disappointments, and we find ways that work for us. So when I see you, Michael, on Facebook sharing your vision, it motivates me. It motivates me to keep going. And I thank you for that, really, Michael, for being that
Thank you.
visionary.
Thank you. So,
Yeah. So
yeah.
I really hope that you continue, and I really hope people go and see Michael and his videos, because you really have great ideas, especially working with dyslexia in Africa, and promoting the I guess I
So
don't
I
know how to
forgot
say
to
it.
send you the link. I meant to send you the link, but I got a bit
Uh-huh.
distracted. So here's a t-shirt I got for the people can see
Oh,
that.
cool.
Uh,
Dyslexia.
Dyslexia, the gift of seeing differently. I think it's it.
Yeah, the gift of seeing things differently.
It's
Exactly.
Dyslexia
Exactly.
Organization Kenya. And
Oh, wow. I love it.
yeah, that's the adventure walk they did. But that's the Dyslexia Organization Kenya, and then the school is called the Red Gem School.
Wow.
If anyone's in a position to help them, um, I'm sure they'd appreciate the help. And they are supported by me as much as possible. I support them with as much as I can, which is not that great, but I do my best. And then there's someone else in Scotland, I think, who supports them they've supported them with a new building and stuff like that. But I'd love for them to be able to be all across Kenya or even Africa generally, so they can help as many young people with dyslexia to believe in themselves as possible.
I love that. I love that. And, actually, and I'm surprised Scotland is such a big advocate for people with dyslexia. There's so much information that you can find about dyslexia. And they even put it into their educational system, and that's amazing. I think they're the ahead of everybody in terms of helping people with dyslexia be successful and being accepted. And it's amazing that way. But Michael, I want to hear from you. What are some traits that you are proud about yourself as being a
Uh,
dyslexic?
yeah, I've got these strange patterns. I was thinking it's the 21st today, so I could think like the saying 21 again. So I thought I could reminisce a little bit, but my memory is a bit strange. Like sometimes I remember something from a long time ago, but I'll forget something
Oh,
5 minutes ago. But when
uh-huh.
I was at school, I was very shy, and I guess because I got dyspraxia as well, and possibly autism. Like sometimes I used to say silly things, admittedly, sometimes still do, but most people do. But I used to perhaps say things without thinking, like, "Oh, that would offend someone" or whatever. So I did fall out with a few people a long time ago. Partly my misunderstanding rather than I didn't really understand why they weren't happy with me, but I guess it was um, somewhere in silliness, I guess. But yeah, I was a bit shy, and sometimes I guess I would sort of assume, sorry, I'd assume that people didn't like me or something like that. Whereas so it wasn't necessarily just bullying. It wasn't really bullying necessarily, but um, I guess I've always been a bit strange. But I guess the other thing is I guess I have a lot of ideas. I watch a lot of things about motivational speeches and stuff like that. They say having ideas alone is not good enough. It's you've got to take action on those ideas. So I guess I had a lot of ideas, but and I still do. But it's about putting them into practice.
Yeah,
Um, so yeah, it was. Um, I mean, I had a lot of fun at school. Like I played football and stuff like that. But even sometimes, like forgetting my PE kit, or we had to wear a tie for like 4 years, and I couldn't tie my tie with my dyslexia, so that was a bit
sure.
embarrassing. But and yeah, I was a bit shy, especially with the opposite gender, shall we say. So I didn't want them to know. I was a bit embarrassed. So I didn't want them to know I couldn't tie my tie. But
We're not
yeah,
afraid to make fun of ourselves, that's for sure. We have such a
yeah,
good sense of humor, and you're right. I was the same way. I was shy at school, and I was not the person who disrupted the class, but I found ways to get away from the classroom. So one of my things was to go to the nurse's office, and my nurse knew me, and I would frequently visit because I just needed to get away because I was overwhelmed or I didn't feel welcome. So I'm like, can I go to the nurse? I have a toothache.
yeah,
And the nurse was so nice to me, and she would give me milk and crackers. And I would relax. There was my time to be away from the stress. But when things don't work out, we make fun of our behaviors, and joke about it. Definitely.
yeah. Well, I think when I was younger, I was very serious. I
Yeah,
think as I got older, I've learned to laugh at things. But when I was younger, I was. I think that's a dyspraxic thing as well, because I've heard other people with dyspraxia they struggle with their humor, understanding humor, taking things too literally, being too serious. And I was
sure.
always quite competitive, like I wanted to win all the time and stuff like that. And so that's memory, like a little bit of school. Where I don't remember a huge amount, but I do remember a bit. Um, but yeah, when I was at some point, I think because people like, I guess to prove people wrong, I used to dream about being rich and all of that kind of thing and having loads of money. And when I was in my late teens, all the way to about when I was about 30 odd, and then I got interested in like philanthropy, like helping a school, which I showed you a t-shirt of, and trying to help people in um, developing nations. I've got a lot of plans that I want to go to developing nations and things like that. So to raise awareness, and I guess thankfully I've seen organisations like Made by Dyslexia, Dyslexia Advantage. So the first one I saw was the Yale Centre for Dyslexia and Creativity. There's a lot of information online about successful dyslexics, famous dyslexics, and all that. I was thinking because it's the 21st, look at the past, but yeah, like now, I was thinking like people growing up today. I think hopefully it should be some of the best times for young dyslexics growing up because there's so many examples of people who have done well. I think like when I got my what we call GCSEs, I don't know if you know what they are, but they're like when you turn about 16, you have what I think it stands for General Certificate of Secondary Education. Um, so that's a lot of people would think that defines your whole life. So when if you don't do well there, you can't go to university, college, university, or whatever it's being called it, or
Yeah.
whatever. So I think like if I could go back knowing what I know today, I'd be like I wouldn't really judge myself by my academic performances or my if I got bad grades or whatever. I would have just been like, I can do something creative. Um, but yeah, I've always had probably ideas, but knowing how to physically make things, or
Yeah,
unlike other dyslexics, I'm not very good with my hands as well. Like a lot of dyslexics can. So there's some dyslexics who are good at designing using the hands or whatever, and others who are good at other things. So I think it's a bit like, it reminds me of the X-Men, really. Like we've got different strengths. Like some are good with their hands, some are good at business, some are good at different things. So,
absolutely. Right. The dyslexics are really good. Like I said, we're good visionaries. We have excellent skills with our hands. We are so great at thinking of new ideas. Sometimes our maybe our downfall in many ways is not being able to move forward with it. Where sometimes we need assistance, and that's why we need other people to work with us. But yeah, the ed I call myself a lifelong student. So I love to learn. I'm constantly learning. I'm actually thinking about going back to school to study law, for example, because I feel like it would bring it we as you shown that we have a passion for charities and helping society, and we have that natural empathy of helping other people. So it's like become our passion to help other people. So it this is what I love about you, is that you have that passion to help other people. Um, and it's a personal mission, but it's not like self-centered. Like unfortunately, I see a lot of charities here where people just do it for the namesake, of doing the charity, but they don't really, they deep inside that they don't have that passion for that charity that they're sponsoring. And I feel
yeah,
a lot of dyslexics have that passion, and we are like the the working mechanism in the those charities and those the not offices but organizations to bring the message out. Definitely. Yeah,
yeah.
right. So, Michael, do you have any questions that come to mind that you want to ask me about being dyslexic? And I ask a lot of questions. I'm naturally to ask a lot of questions.
Uh, I gotta say, I can't think of any off the top of my head at this moment in time.
Oh, that's
So
okay. No problem. I'm a teacher in the past, so I'm used to having lots of questions to ask. So,
yeah,
Michael, what dream do you have for yourself for the future? Do you have a special dream you want to talk about?
yeah, I have quite a few little sort of dreams and goals and things like that. And I suppose the problem is I do sort of think too much and take too much on. But um, I was thinking I should probably have asked you your dream, but maybe that's good. Yeah.
Oh, no, no, you first.
Yeah, so I was thinking like, yeah, so I guess I was thinking I talk about what I call my five causes, which are like I normally put them in an order. So not specifically related necessarily to dyslexia, although thing like getting dyslexics it may be involved in it. But like I'd love to see, for instance, what I could do with my dyslexic creativity to benefit Italian football, as you would call it, soccer. I have to mention that one, like as they call it in Italy, calcio. But yeah, so I support Italian football because I think I look Italian. But I say that I put that as number one because it's like a selfish sort of dream. Like, and also I love to benefit Celtic FC in
Uh-huh.
Scotland.
I know
Um,
you love the Celtics.
yeah,
They
Celtic,
should put
and
you on the team, really,
yeah,
and
and
market
also
them.
uh, I'm a big fan of libertarianism. So I think
Yeah,
people have
me
more
too.
choices,
Hey.
have more choices in life. So I love to support libertarian parties,
Uh-huh.
and then I love to support people in developing countries, former colonies, and I love to tackle poverty, alleviate suffering, spread joy around the world, and that kind of thing, especially for the most disadvantaged people. Um, and when it comes to dyslexia, I'd love to work with like I'd love to bring together groups like Made by Dyslexia, Dyslexia Advantage, and others, and sort of because what they talk about is the positive sides of dyslexia, like you say, the strengths as
Right.
much as the weak, or even more than the weaknesses in many ways. So I think it would fit. One thing I think would be good if they work together because they got the same sort of goals. So I think it'd be good if we I have to have this same way I say like stronger together, hashtag stronger together.
Right.
So
Definitely
together
stronger
to the
together.
same sort of goals. So I think like I'd love to see what dyslexic people could contribute to Italian football and Celtic and things like that. I know that would be a bit of a hard sell because not every dyslexic person could be a fan of Italian football. But I'd love to work with Italian football to sort of say raising awareness of dyslexia and things like that through football, similar with Celtic. And um, Also on the subject of like stronger together, I'd love to promote Pan-Africanism and Pan-Asianism and raise awareness in those countries as well, and so how we could help their economies to grow by thinking outside the box and things like that. So like if someone is in India or something like that and they are struggling in the classroom, where it's quite an academic country, so it's very competitive if you're not good academically. So
Absolutely.
they could see like, oh, this guy could be the next Richard Branson or
Sure.
Schwab.
There's a huge
Um,
opportunity in many countries now.
yeah, so how we could use our out of the box thinking to benefit those nations. And also for October here I mean, internationally, it's Dyslexia Awareness Month, but it's also Black History Month here. I know yours is in February, so I'd love to interview as many dyslexics as possible about
Sure.
their experiences and also members of the Black community about their experiences, whether that's negative, positive, or whatever, whether it's experience of racism or disadvantage they have in the job market or ones from a more successful, depending on how you define success,
Absolutely.
um, could talk about inspiring others. So that's a sort of, I hope to interview as many people and I'd love to do one-to-one interviews and like street interviews. I'd love to have a microphone and go and interview people and ask them questions like some people do on YouTube. And also I'd love to have Zoom chats with multiple people, so as many people as possible to talk about um, our experiences. So those are two things I wish to focus on in October, which is dyslexia awareness
Absolutely.
and Black history and that kind of thing. So empowering those two groups, I hope to, because I have this thing, especially in the past, I used to try and do lots of things. So now I try and hyper focus on
Like I
that
said,
kind of
Michael, you have fantastic ideas, and this is a time that when the world is trying to divide each other, I think we really have to fight harder to bring each other together. And this is including different backgrounds, different skill abilities, and ignoring this, I don't know, propaganda to separate, which is, I find it very odd and strange experience. And like I said earlier in the beginning, I've been experiencing this wave of wanting to separate you and someone else. It's a epidemic on social media, and I find it very disheartening. But talking with you now and hearing your ideas really uplift my spirits because I have the same passion. My dream is I hope to continue coaching people online. Um, and it not necessarily, I'm not going to be very specific saying just neurodiversic people. I want to help everybody. There's no discrimination in that. That's the message, even though I focus a lot on neurodiversic people, because in my opinion, I think we need to come together and support each other and praise each other when we are successful. And I try every day to reach out to my friends who are neurodiversic and say, hey, I see you, you're doing great, keep it up. And we need more of that. And I don't know why there is some sense that we need to put neurodiversic people down like it's a disease, it's something that you don't want to have. I see a lot of people online saying, I'm afraid that my child will get um, near going to be dyslexic, for example. They are afraid their children will be dyslexic. And I'm like, why are we making this a fear? It's an advantage. It's something that we should promote. It's okay to have dyslexia because it's so unique. It's a unique lifestyle. It's a unique way of thinking. And yeah, okay, it's just challenges. There are days where my dyslexia messes me up. And I'm like, okay, I guess I'm not getting anything done today. But then there are days where I'm like, creative genius, hello. Like, finally, my brain is working and finally I can figure out what I want to do. So it's a normal human being. So my wish is to continue coaching, and I'm changing my platform on social media a little bit differently, is to be more supportive of neurodiversic people. So I hope to grow that community on social media to bring more of us together to support each other on a daily basis. And
Yeah,
I want to add on to go to become a lawyer because I see that being a lawyer gives you advantages in charities. Maybe you notice, Michael, that a lot of charities are run by lawyers because they have that passion of helping other people. And I want to have that authority to work with governments, with educational authorities, and say, hey, we need to change this way of thinking, this way of behavior to make it a better place for people with neurodiverse backgrounds. So that's my nearest goal. And of course, I have personal goals. I want to have a family. I want to travel. I love traveling. I hope I will be able to travel one day to England. I haven't been there in 20 years, but I would like to come and see you, Michael, and we can have our long chats and discuss your ideas because I think it's fantastic. So we will see what the future will hold. We will see about that. Don't you agree, Michael?
yeah. It just reminded me as well, like a bucket list of like well, I said about sex that people like. I love for us to travel to Italy and work with the town football and with Celtic, and also to go to these countries and host events like for Nigeria, South Africa, Central Africa, and other parts of Africa, if and when it's safe to do so. As many dyslexic organizations and also individuals like entrepreneurs with dyslexia saying like we could help your economy to do well. So I guess once hopefully more dyslexic becoming empowered, hopefully will be. I'd love to encourage dyslexics to be philanthropists, like helping others. You might feel better about uh, enjoy helping others. But yeah, I mean, to be honest, not obviously there's not every dyslexic person's good, I guess, obviously, because I mean,
Sure.
some like any background, I guess, is good and bad. But yeah, I mean, I went to school with a guy who was a college, sorry, and he wasn't very nice, but although he was dyslexic, so it doesn't mean we're all going to be good.
Yeah.
Reminds me of Big Bang. I don't know if you watched the Bang Theory, and they were, if you watched it, there's Penny, one of the characters, Penny, and she says, "Oh, I think I don't know if you use this term in America, like handicap, but we would see it as a bit of a derogatory term. But she
Sure.
was saying, oh, handicap people, disabled people can't be horrible. But obviously, there's some dyslexics who are not particularly nice necessarily. Obviously, we're not all good people. Um, but I think most of us are. But I don't know what my point was there. But I sometimes go off tangents. That's another one of my weaknesses. But yeah, so yeah, I'd love to have like groups of dyslexics, whoever's interested
Yeah.
to travel together and like I say show positives of dyslexia, like what we could contribute to things from a selfish point of view, like time for soccer, whatever you put it,
Well, we
Celtic and
definitely need to do that,
supporting.
Michael. I am willing to join you in that mission of,
Yeah,
to travel and share the knowledge about dyslexia and um, the ups and downs about it. And I hope today on our talk that people who are watching can see, despite the supposedly difficulties of being neurodiversic, um, we have dreams, we have motivation, we are creative, we are informative, we have that desire to help society. And anyone who's watching, please support Michael and supporting the Red and Dyslexia in Kenya. And if you are out there, I'm also out available to speak to you. I offer a really, you know, almost free sessions just to talk about your creativity and discussions. I call it coffee conversations. So you can always reach out to me if you have an idea that you are thinking of to build on, and I love to brainstorm with you and give you a starting point in that sense. So
I think that's one of the things I just want to say as well. Like I think when you see something online, it's difficult to know who you can trust and all that kind of thing as well.
sure.
And the other thing I want to say to young people, if you've got dyslexia, I mean, if you don't feel good about being like if you're not doing well at school, is like to check out organizations like Made by Dyslexia and the Dyslexia Advantage. I don't really work. I think she's still on my friend list, but person who runs Made by Dyslexia. But I mean, you could check their stuff out on Google and YouTube. Check out their videos and all that kind of thing. They do some really good, informative stuff about a lot, a lot more about the strengths. I know there are weaknesses as well, but they do a lot on the strengths. So if you're especially a young person, I think you're in the best position now because there's so much awareness. I know there's challenges for like jobs and all that, but like when I was growing up, I didn't have anyone that I could say, "Oh, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
dyslexic. That guy's dyslexic." Or that lady's. I was thinking even like it'd be good to have more POC, people of color, minorities as role models as well. There's some people trying to do that as
absolutely.
well. And there's also like more. I think it'd be good to have more women, so it's not just like white men.
Absolutely.
It's
It,
different backgrounds of people who have done well. Like I was thinking, like the Shark Tank in America, you've got Barbara Corcoran, who can be a role model for girls with dyslexia, and she said she hated school. So,
sure.
I mean, I suppose you've got to be careful with the message about saying, "Oh, you don't have to try" and all that sort of stuff. But I just want to say, like, if you're not doing well in your exams, you don't have to worry about that. Oh, that's a whole life. You can find something else. Like if you find what you're good at. So if you're good at with your hands, you can make things. You can do
Absolutely.
design. You might not have any qualifications, but you can find a way to market your design. Nowadays, it's kind of the worst of times in many ways, but it's also the best of times. Funny enough, but it's like you can use Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and all that kind of thing to market yourself quite cheaply. So you can say, "Oh, I designed this thing," and someone can see it and be like, "Oh yeah, this
Yeah.
person really put it with their hands." So you don't really. I should be careful what I say because some people might say, "Oh, telling kids not to try." But if you're not good at that stuff, I don't think you should really worry about it. I think it's something you can find what you are good at and work on that.
There are
You don't have
many,
to be
you're right, because there's this idea that you have to follow a certain path. And in life, you don't have to follow these paths. You can be a successful mechanic, a successful plumber, electrician, a technical person, working with your hands, crafts, carpentry, painting. Those are not, bad professions. They are needed. They are more needed than anything these days. And you're right, I want this video to promote, to say, hey, these people, you and me, we experienced many things in our lives. We had many backgrounds. I went through many different types of careers in my life, and we exist and we want to help you. We want to help you, the viewer, be successful. And you might, reach out to Michael, reach out to me, anytime. We are open to discuss with many people. I'm sure, Michael, you talk to a lot of people all the time. So it's our passion to help others and share our experiences. And I hope this video, I know it's a very short video for our lifetime, but I hope it gives you some insight that there are people out there who have a passion to help other people with dyslexia. You're not alone. You're not alone,
Yeah.
and we want to support you.
And if anyone would like to take part and help me with I'm trying to get as many dyslexics as possible to interview them one to one to sort of get their life story. And it, it would be a bit of fun, but also say if someone wants to promote their project or whatever,
Yeah,
their website or their YouTube channel or whatever, I could interview and ask you about what you do and your goals and things like that. So hopefully that would empower um, sex as well, which is what I'm trying to do in October, and also members of the Black community for Black History Month as well. So yeah, if anyone would like to be part of that, um, um, please message me or whatever, post in the
yeah.
video,
So
so that so that yeah, uh,
absolutely. I am going to be posting this on our profile. I'll be tagging you, and feel free to reach out to us. We are open to share ideas and points of view. So I think, Michael,
yeah,
this is, go ahead.
maybe
Sorry.
maybe we could have like a also I think you can get quite a lot of people on Zoom. So maybe like if anyone else wants to have like a group chat as well.
Sure,
Um,
absolutely. If we get enough
yeah,
interest, then definitely we can do that. I'm
sorry,
open for
I,
that.
I didn't quite catch that. Sorry.
I said if we get enough interest to do that, let's do that. We'll have an
Yeah,
open chat.
I was thinking like I know one problem with it could be difficult when you got lots of people, especially like when not talk over each other, whatever, but we'll try and find a way.
We could have a panel of
Yeah,
experts.
yeah.
That would be cool.
So, or anyone who wants to get involved, like anyone um, who wants to talk about the story, or maybe even people who are not confident. Although that's a difficult one, I guess, if you're not confident to go on camera, but if they want to be encouraged or something, or they want to feel better. I mean, it's difficult, I suppose, if you don't want to be on camera, but
Right.
those who are okay with being on camera and might need more encouragement as well, maybe. I don't know. But anyone's welcome anyway, if you don't mind being on camera. But I was thinking, like, if I do these interviews, then I'd have to know from the person who I interview, like, where they're happy to be, if for the info to be shared, or who they want it to be shared with. I hope that makes sense. But yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the whole point of us having a discussion is not just sharing our own experience, but opening it up to others to share their own experiences. Let's not hide who we are. I know we tried all our lives to fit in, but it's time for a change. It's time for us to be who we are openly. I think it will help a lot of people with their mental health as well, because it's very difficult to fit into a cookie cutter size when you are much bigger than that cookie cutter, you know? And we need to promote being more open about who you are. Definitely. Michael, do you have any last statements before we end our talk today?
Um,
Last words?
I hope that we would inspire people with dyslexia to believe in themselves and live your best life, be happiest and joyous, and also help others, um, and see what we can do as dyslexics to make the world better, not just for ourselves, but for others, as you say. I think that covers everything.
Yeah, I agree. It's time to live your best life. That's our message today. And there are people here to help you. We're both here to help you live your best life. All
Yeah.
right. Well, thank you everyone for watching this
Thank
recording.
you.
And Michael, we're gonna stay in touch. We're gonna have more discussions.
Next time I'll ask you your goals and dreams next time. We'll try and plan that.
I gave part of my
Yeah.
goals, but I think we share the same goals and we want to help other people. So I'm very happy we had our little talk about our own experiences, and I hope that motivates everyone else to be positive, be motivated. Don't let anyone else tear you down. I don't know why this is going around, but don't accept that kind of lifestyle. We are not going to accept that behavior these days. All right,
Yeah.
Michael, see you later. Thanks so
Thanks so
much,
much.
everyone, for watching. Take care.
Thank you.